Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Shemiah Shah, the blind city positive GMS. I'm now Alec. I'm next in the video. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on Isaiah 41:8 on down. Going to the Most High, the Heavenly Father is going to fight for Israel. This is Isaiah 41:8. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. So Israel is his chosen. See? Israel is his servant. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, the ends of the earth, because the children of Israel were scattered across the different parts of the world, which happened during the transatlantic slave trade, and in many other captivities. You can read about that in Deuteronomy 28th chapter specifically. One good verse for that is like the 48th verse, 64th verse. So how we gonna have yoke of iron around our neck, and be scattered in different lands, the lands of our enemies, and worship gods with us, don't worship other gods, in other words, other philosophies or other religions, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof. The chief men, the top men. The chief is like the head. So called from the chief men, meaning the rulers of the various nations. And said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee, and I cast thee away. Fear thou not, for Moses never truly casted us off in regards to he was never dealing with Israel ever again. I'm done with y'all for good. No, he never casted us off. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed. So don't be dismayed. Don't be distressed. Don't be fearful. For I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with thy right hand, with the right hand of my righteousness. Okay? Which the right hand is what? Who sits on the right hand of the Father? The one who called Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah. You can look at that and read about that in the book of Hebrews. The Lord sits on the right hand of the Father. Behold, all they, and he will uphold with his right hand when he sends his son to deliver us. You can read about that in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. He's going to deliver his elect, the elect of Israel. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee, or enraged, angered against thee, shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. So any nation that rose up against us to take us down, they're going to be confounded, man. All of them going to be confounded. You got to confounded, it says, to perplex or amaze, especially by sudden disturbance or surprise, bewildered, confused. Okay? To throw, Merriam-Webster right here, at the top it says, to throw a person into a confusion or perplexity taxes to confound the enemy. Okay, so it means like to confuse them or to be given a sudden disturbance. Alright? And that's what happens when they get destroyed. They're going to be ashamed and confounded. They should be as nothing. And they that strive with thee shall perish. See, anybody that strives with us or fight with us, the Most High going to kill him. He's going to destroy him. Thou shalt seek them and shall not find them. You're going to look where our enemies. You're not going to find them. Even them that contended with thee, meaning that fought with thee, like a contender fights. Even them that contended with thee, they that war against thee shall be as nothing, as a thing of naught, as a thing of nothing. So anybody that even wars against us is going to be like nothing. They're going to be wiped out. For I, the Lord, thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, because we're like thou worm Jacob, because we're like a worm to the Lord. That's how minor we are to the Lord. We're like a worm, man, compared to the Heavenly Father. And ye men of Israel, I will help thee, says the Lord. See, the Lord saying he going to do all these things to protect us, and then going around calling us a worm is showing us how much of a lack of strength we have to protect our own selves. We're like a worm to him. That's why we need him to protect us. That's why we need him to contend against our enemies, because we're like a worm. That's why he called us a worm. Okay, it doesn't mean that we're an actual worm. He called us a worm to signify how we need his protection. Just as a worm is defenseless and helpless, we're defenseless and helpless without the Father. Like when a bird swoops out of the sky, when a bird swoops down and picks up a worm, that worm has no way of defending itself at all. It's helpless. It's a defenseless creature. So that's what we are like to the Lord. We're like a helpless, defensive creature that needs him to fight for us. that He needs to protect us. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Next scripture. St. John chapter 18, verse 36. Yahweh shall answer, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then will my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews, but my kingdom is not from hence. My kingdom is not now. It's not from here. Look at that word hence real quick. From this place, see, it's not here. Away. Archaic, henceforth, from this time, 4 years. 4 years, hence, because of a preceding fact or premise. So it means it's not from this place. So the Lord's saying, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then will my servants fight. So if the Lord's kingdom was of this world, then his servants would fight. The Lord's servants would fight in order to protect his kingdom, to build up his kingdom. So we read about what we read about in the book of Isaiah, the 41st chapter, the 8th verse on down, showing you that the Lord is going to contend for us or fight for us. But he's going to contend for us and fight for us in the time of his kingdom. But he's not going to do that now because his kingdom is not of this world. If it was of this world, then his servants will fight. So since the Lord's kingdom is not of this world, then the Lord doesn't need his servants to fight. But when his kingdom does come, then the Lord's servants are going to fight. And those servants are talking about the holy angels. Those are the ones that are going to protect us with the Lord. Yahweh shall answer, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then will my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. But this kingdom was not of this place. And it's going back to the time when the Lord was going to be delivered up, to be crucified. His kingdom was not of this place. Therefore, it was necessary for the Lord to come with the holy angels and fight and defend his kingdom, as we're going to read about in the book of, you'll read about in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. Okay, let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the end of the world? What's going to be the sign of your coming, Lord? What's going to be the signs and the signs of the end of the world? So we know the end of the world and the second coming of the Lord is synonymous with one another. So the second coming of the Lord is the ending of the world. The end of the world as you know it. And in the beginning of the Lord's kingdom. The kingdom, what? And when the kingdom comes, the servants going to fight. And how shall answer and say unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, or the anointed, and shall deceive many. So many people go come around saying that they're anointed, that they're the Messiah, they're sent by the Lord, but they're going to deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So you're going to hear about wars, you're going to hear about rumors of wars, but don't be troubled. Don't be troubled, because all things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. The end isn't yet. The end isn't going to be there yet. Even if you hear about wars and rumors of wars, don't be in trouble. Because the end still isn't yet. It's not going to end yet. You're going to hear about that. That's a sign of the end, but that's not that very end. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. See, famines like in Venezuela, and pestilences, disease outbreaks. Remember, they were talking about the Zika virus, they were talking about Ebola, the swine flu made a comeback a little bit. They talking about West Nile virus, they were talking about these new pestilences, these new disease outbreaks, and earthquakes in diverse places. You can get an earthquake app on your phone that can let you know whenever an earthquake is happening in the world, and there's tens of thousands of them, if not more. There's thousands, tens of thousands, if not more, happening every day. Remember the earthquake in Haiti? Earthquake in Colombia that happened a few years ago? Remember the earthquake that happened in Japan? It says in diverse places in various different parts of the world. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All those things are just the beginning of sorrows. Just the beginning. Let's go to verse 29. Okay? You can go to verse 29. Matthew 29, 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Okay? So the moon will be darkened, the sun shall be darkened, the moon not going to give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven. Okay, the sun's going to actually be darkened, just as well as the moon, Because when the Lord comes with them chariots, what the world ignorantly calls UFO, there's no little green men in there. There's angels in there. The Lord of the so-called black men as well as the angels. And they're going to block out the sun. They're gonna block out the moon's light. Also, you're going to have what? You're going to have missiles, man. The Third World War is going to be the war of indoor wars. Okay? And they're going to the smoke from them missiles exploding, going to block out the sun and the moon as well. Right? And the missiles are going to be like stars falling from heaven. And the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. The rulers of the heavens, or the rulers of this earth, the different rulers shall be shaken. They're gonna be unstable, because all kinds of destruction gonna be going on. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. That's that sign. See? Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. So all that's gonna be happening simultaneously. So when the moon is not giving its light, well, the sun, then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. That why did it say sun and moon and the stars? Because the sun and moon and the stars are located in heaven, located up. When you look in the heavens, you see the sun, you see the moon, you see the stars, right? So that's the sign of the Son of Man, when all these things are happening in the heavens. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. They shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. That's that ultimate sign. So once you start seeing all this, the sun being dark and the moon not giving a light, and amidst all of this destruction, then the Son of Man gonna appear. Those are all signs of the Son of Man, the one who wrote called Jesus Christ. But the ultimate sign is when you actually see him in that chariot, man, coming with the clouds of heaven, coming with all of the angels. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Remember, it said they're gonna mourn, they're gonna be afraid. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the earth even unto the other. That all links up with John 18:36, and links up with Isaiah the 41st chapter. Okay, so the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Oh, this whole chapter is signs. This whole chapter is signs of the coming of the Lord. But the ultimate sign is when you see the Son of Man in heaven come with great glory in the clouds of heaven. That's the ultimate sign. So the sun being dark and the moon not giving the light and the stars falling from heaven, all of those are signs too. They're all signs, but the ultimate sign, in the midst of all that, the ultimate sign is what? When you see the Son of Man coming to heaven. So with that, I'm going to close. I'm going to say, oh, praise the How about you, Shah? Double on to the Apostle Jim Mess. I hope you learned something. Shalom.